I just watched all 3 seasons of the TV show From, and I loved it. Although I am kind of mad that I didn't find out about the show until next year, because now I gotta wait like the rest of y'all for the next season. Well, here we are. Anyways, this is my kind of horror show. There's something about not knowing what the hell is going on that really gets the goosebumps on the back of my neck going. But yeah, highly recommend the show. I'm about to get into my theories and thoughts, so spoiler alert. I'm gonna be honest, I think everybody in this show is absolutely cooked. There is no hope. The intro song to this show literally says, whatever will be, will be. In other words, you cannot control what is going to happen. The outcome is already determined. And as we know, in this show in particular, that outcome has already happened several times, as some of the main characters are literal reincarnations of the original townspeople. We know there are at least 3 different versions of Tabitha, and every single one of them couldn't even make a damn bracelet for her husband without making the same damn mistake. None of them were able to save the Raggedy Ann Cooey kids, and I'm supposed to believe Tabitha is gonna be any different? She couldn't even save Thomas. She can dig one hell of a hole though. That was like a 5-man job and she barely broke a sweat. I might have to reinvest in Tabitha stock. She just might be built different. But yeah, there's no hope for these people. I don't even think that any of the rules the monsters follow are even real. We see that the monsters are smart enough to lure out the townspeople by releasing the livestock. And you're telling me that those same monsters weren't smart enough to find people hiding in the ground for decades? Yeah, right. I'm telling y'all, these monsters just come up with random rules to follow, because that barn scene didn't just showcase the monsters' intelligence. It also showed us that just because the monsters don't do certain things doesn't mean that they can't do them. They went years without messing with the farm animals until they felt like it. So who's to say that these talismans even work? Maybe they were just bored and wanted to give themselves a new challenge. I mean, if you look at the place where Boyd found the talisman, it wasn't even that covered up. He just had some branches in between him and the monsters. It's almost as if they led him there. I know it was technically one of those dogs that led him to that place, but who's to say the dogs aren't monsters? I mean, they can shapeshift, right? Also, isn't it pretty much confirmed that the monsters know where everyone is at all times? I mean, they even knew that Father Khatri buried a bag when he first got to town, and what was in that bag. The monsters know what happened, what's happening, and what's going to happen. These people are doomed. I don't even think that they can't come out during the daytime. When Boyd took out Smiley, nothing happened to his body when the sun came out. I'm just saying. I also think everyone in this show is evil. There are no good allies. The boy in white, 100% evil. And even though there is a lot of evidence in the show for why the boy in white is evil, the main reason I believe he's evil is because of this video Paramount posted on YouTube. Check out this clip.
We knew that we wanted our creatures very much to maintain a human quality.
The creatures who look really normal at one point and then turn into monsters.
Now, why when talking about the creatures did they show the boy in white? That was not a mistake. That boy is no different than the other monsters. Ethan is also 100% evil. That boy was cooked as soon as he got to town. We've seen 3 people get seizures and the other 2 ended up working for the monsters. I highly doubt Ethan is going to be any different. I've seen people theorize that he's actually the man in yellow, and I can definitely see that, or maybe he's his next vessel or something like that. I just know that that boy's not right. This one might surprise people, but I also think Victor is evil. Man was out here digging graves in front of Colony House the day before the monsters broke in and took out 14 people, and then he disappeared. And no one even questioned him. Bro should have been in the box as soon as they found him. Then when Tabitha was about to find Fatima in the cellar, guess who was there just standing in the corner? Victor. Remember, Fatima had been screaming for help and it looked like Victor had been there for a while, so he definitely knew that she was back there. But the ghost lady didn't show up to make sure she stopped making noise until Tabitha got close. Because Victor is on their side. This guy has basically been there his entire life. He got raised by the monsters. This is his home. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the show. The only negatives I would say is that they introduced time travel, and I personally hate time travel. It almost never makes sense, and it just makes the characters look dumb. Like, Julie could have just said, "Dad, the monsters are touching Ethan. They're diddling Ethan. They're diddling Ethan." And I promise you, Jim would have followed her. Instead, she was just like, "Oh God, I think this is where it happens." Jim low-key had it coming, though. I mean, who hears, "Your wife shouldn't be digging that hole, Jim," and thinks, "I think this guy's trying to help me." Jim, come on, Jim. Even Donna was like, "You think that voice was trying to help? Are you dense in the head, buddy?" Jim probably got excited when he heard the man in yellow's voice. "Oh, it's okay, Julie. This is my friend from the radio."